Gators will be back in action as they head to the road in hoops to play Arkansas, and they will be without Colin Castleton. He suffered a broken right hand Wednesday against Ole Miss, and just an unfortunate injury we talked about at the top of the show. But now the Gators already trying to fight for a spot in the NCAA tournament. Things just got real harder, but more than anything, regardless of their tournament chances, like so much of their team offensively and defensively runs through Colin. So there is going to be a lot that changes now down this final stretch and how they kind of put their team together and who steps up in his absence.
And obviously, you can speak on this more than me. Obviously, I guess the first man up is Jason Jatoba.
Yeah.
You don't have a lot of big men. What is the course of action? Can Jason play? I don't think Jason Jatobo can play the kind of minutes that Colin Castleton was giving you. So you need more than one person.
He's going to have to start. There's no doubt about that. He had 17 minutes against Ole Miss that matched his season high, and obviously he was called on more because Colin went out in the second period. So he would have probably played even more minutes had Colin left the game earlier. He's probably going to eclipse 20, I would think, easily against Arkansas. Can they get 30 minutes out of him? I don't know. We'll find out. But remember, they've already dealt with some issues in terms of their bigs or their bigger players being injured. And that's what they went through with Alex Fudge and his head injury. And then also CJ Felder and his leave of absence from the team. So twice now this season, the Gators have had to basically figure out and go small with their lineup after they lost one of their bigs. And I think obviously the return of CJ Felder is huge now, given Colin's injury. You got Alex Fudge back as well. And, with Fudge out, the Gators went with the small lineup with Riley Kugel getting the start. He's been playing really well as of late. I think he's averaged 15 points in his last 3 games. So how does that, I would imagine he's going to keep his starting role. But now what does that front court look like? And, obviously you probably are going to go with Jason to start, but when he needs a breather, what is that going to look like for the Gators? Is who's playing the 5? Is it Fudge? Is it Felder? Obviously Richard is probably going to get a lot of looks at the 4, who's just been traditionally playing the wing for them. So this is tough. But one thing that's for sure, Nick, I think down the stretch here, as this season has played out and Florida's tourney chances have been what they've been, I think you've already had some fans, at least on our message board, that have already started to look ahead and think about what next year is going to look like. And I think the times that I've seen this comment mentioned is when it's been a game where Colin Castleton goes off for 2010 or scores nearly 30 points, and you see the comment often this season, man, what are they going to get? What are the Gators going to be when that guy leaves? What is this team going to look like? About to find out right now, Nick.
Yep. It's tough. And I mentioned last week, looking at the schedule, I didn't see many great resume builders left on the schedule, but some potential potholes. Todd Golden and the Gators must have been listening because they drove immediately into a Vanderbilt pothole at home. And now, that fact doesn't change at all. You still have those same question marks, those same issues with the roster. Now you're facing it with a man down. And how effective can you change your offense that really ran through Castleton to, okay, well, now we need to run it through our guards, and we need to have this small lineup, and we've got some experience doing it. But if we're going to try to make the NCAA tournament, which probably means, if not winning the SEC tournament outright, getting
They're
to
gonna
that,
have to win a couple.
getting to that final weekend, probably,
Yeah.
getting to Sunday, getting to the final four of it, to make the NCAA tournament. Like, you got to figure some stuff out really quickly, and you probably still need to win out in the regular season.
Yeah, and it's just disappointing that we don't get to see a rematch between Colin and Oscar, and Kentucky coming into the O-Dome and the Gators trying to get that win at home with Colin kind of leading the charge. It just sucks. You feel for the guy, and it was funny. It was not funny, but ironic how we, if you remember last week, Nick, me mentioning how a lot like Ventrell Miller, Colin Castleton's really good season has just been overshadowed by the team's results. And unfortunately, Ventrell Miller's season ended early with injury, and now we're seeing that happen with Colin Castleton. But look, judging by this tweet that they sent out, much love and always a Gator, it looks like his season will likely be done. And the Gators are going to have to find a way how to move on. But I will give them credit, man. He left. He only played 5 minutes in the second half, and they had 5 guys that scored in double figures and really stepped up to the plate. Kawasi Reeves coming off the bench. He's really been playing well lately, and he finished with 13 points along with Will Richard. Myron Jones stepped up big time. Season high 15 points, season high 5 3-pointers. He had been scoreless in the last 2 games. So for him to have that scoring output, especially with Colin out, was huge. And then I mentioned Jason DeChobo, season high 17 minutes. He got 4 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. So he was active. And Kyle Lofton, plus 18. And season high 7 assists. He also scored in double figures with 10. So those guys are going to have to contribute like that moving forward for the Gators to rack up some wins here as they close out their regular season.
And it's not that they can't. You see it in that small sample size that they can. But, like we mentioned with Jatobo, like, can you do that for 30 minutes, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 more times this year? And it's not that they can't. We just don't know.